Welcome to the 2023 4Islands MTB Croatia, the 8th edition of the exhilarating mountain bike stage race by the Epic series. It is an event like no other, as it sees teams travel from around the world to the Kvarner region of Croatia to tackle the ancient trails on 4 different islands, to live the island life in the race hotels and boats, and to rub shoulders with some of the world's best riders. Get ready to experience the thrill of the race, explore breathtaking islands, and soak in the beauty of the Croatian coast. Join us as we embark on an unforgettable journey through the stunning islands of Krk, Rab, Cres, and Lushin. The 4Islands MTB Croatia is a 5-day stage race that pushes limits, tests skills and trial partnerships as teams navigate challenging trails and compete against fellow mountain bikers from around the world on the islands of Croatia. As part of the Epic series, the global portfolio of best-in-class mountain bike stage races, the 4Islands is a full-service event that ensures all riders need to do is focus on the racing. Everything else is taken care of. But it's not just about the race, it's also about the journey, the incredible landscapes you'll discover along the way, and the memories made while racing bikes in such an iconic location, on a mission to conquer the rocks. The first of the 4 islands is Krk, the largest island in the Adriatic Sea. With its picturesque towns, ancient ruins and stunning beaches, Krk offers an incredible blend of history and natural beauty to enjoy both on and off the bike. The seaside town of Baška is the host town for the Prologue and Stage 1 of the 2023 4Islands, and its picturesque setting is the perfect welcome for teams arriving from as far abroad as the United States, South Africa, Peru, Brazil, Canada, the Dominican Republic, and even Guatemala. 12 kilometers, 250 meters of climbing, coastal cliff trails, forested climbs and rocky descents are the proving ground of Prologue in Baška, as over 200 teams line up for their first challenge in their mission to conquer the rocks. In the men's category, Buff Megamo's Ugo Dreju and Hans Becking live up to the pre-race expectations of having the #1 bike boards as they race to the win and into the yellow Ciovita leader jerseys that honor them as race leaders.
Well, the prologue was really fast, good warm-up for the rest of the week. The combination working together with Hugo was really good, and we look forward for 4 days of racing.
The day ends with Buff Megamo in first, Orbia Liat Speed Company in second, 12 seconds behind, and KTM Alchemist Brenta Brakes in third, 32 seconds back. The women's category racing is equally as exciting as Bettina Janus and Kim Ames, racing as Sportograph.com, Bike Aid MTB, conquer the rocks of the Prologue and race to the win to claim the orange leader jerseys of the women's category.
I think we had a really good start, a quite good tactics.
It was a good day for us. We decided not to go over the limit to be fresh the next day, but we went full gas and, and that was good, yes.
Tanja Prille and Greta Karasiavate of Tricelian SRT Protective Factory crossed the line in second place, 55 seconds behind, while Alessia Ney and Lisa Erberg of Velohund Velofluch claimed the third and final spot on the stage podium. The islands of Kvarner are spectacular in any weather conditions, but when the sun shines, the region is truly majestic. Teams are treated to near-perfect conditions during Stage 1, as the day begins fresh and overcast before the sun breaks through the clouds as the racing heats up.
Well, the sun is shining above Bashka. We are at the first stage, 78 kilometers with 1,700 meters of positive gain. It's time to conquer the rocks of the island of Krk.
The action begins immediately in the men's race, up the opening climbs and into the famous Moon Plateau. The pace proves too much for Draghu of Buff Megamo, and they are forced to slow, allowing Egger and Baum to surge ahead to the stage win and the leader jerseys.
Now I know why they say conquer the rocks, huh?
Nearly 5 minutes later, a sprint for the second and third unfolds as Buff Megamo and KTM Alchemist Brenta Brakes round the final turn and launched for the line. Hans Becking crosses first, Draghu third, thus securing second on the stage and on the GC ahead of Lorenzo Samparisi and Dario Cerci.
Yeah, I tried to put on a super hard pace, or as hard as Lucas could go. And then, yeah, I knew that the others gonna explode at some point of the race if we keep pushing that hard. And yeah, it worked out well. There was like last two climbs we were alone, and yeah, we could open up a gap. I think Hugo had a bigger explosion today, but yeah, we'll see how tomorrow goes.
Stage 1 is another exciting day in the women's category at the 4Islands MTB Croatia. Much like in the men's race, the early climb is the decider, as Sportograph.com. Bike Aid MTBs Bettina Janas and Kim Ames make their break. Janas and Ames, in their orange Ciovita leader jerseys, race the remainder of the stage alone. After 3 hours and 48 minutes, they cross the finish line in Bashka to celebrate a back-to-back win. Their win on Stage 1 extends their overall lead to 5 minutes and 47 seconds.
She pushed everything from the front and I tried to stay on her back wheel, gave everything till the end, and I'm really happy she brought me to the finish line and we can stay in the leader's jersey.
Stage 2 of the 2023 4Islands MTB Croatia sees teams board the boats and Jadrolinija ferry and set sail for Rab, where they'll race from Lopar to the city of Rab. While the 4Islands is famed for its unique terrain and challenges, one of the most iconic aspects of the race is the accommodation and travel. Given the fact that teams are required to race on 4 different islands in just 5 days, travel is not as simple as hopping in a car and driving to the next race village. Teams who opted for the boat package spend their hours off the bike on incredible boats that sail the seas between the islands, offering those aboard the most luxurious way to travel between race villages, complete with hot tubs, amazing food, and near non-existent logistics. Simply sit back and sail, then race your heart out. The teams staying in the race hotels were also treated to sailing time, as the Jadrolinija ferry transports the riders and the complete race village between the islands. On board, teams could talk strategy, grab a coffee, or have a pre-race nap before arriving on the next island. The second island, Island Rab, presents a completely different set of challenges and demands from Island Krk. With its diverse terrain, breathtaking scenery and medieval architecture, Rab Island offers an unparalleled experience for mountain bikers competing in the 4Islands MTB Croatia.
Hello, good morning. I'm Jose Antonio Hermida from Spain.
I'm Simon from Manchester in the UK.
I'm from Croatia.
I'm expecting some sort of rolling gravel through the forest, a little bit of single track that the local clubs have built. Looking forward to that.
Hopefully today we will make some time in the GC.
The islands, they are completely different and really, really rocky. Now I understand why they say conquer the rock.
The organisation is amazing. We get a ride on these fantastic ferries, which is great fun. And we get to start on the ferry with the sound of the horn, which is brilliant.
Rab, the happy island of Kvarner, is the playground for today's 76 kilometers and 1,300 meters of climbing from Lopar to the city of Rab. The highlights of the route include racing off the hull of the Jadrolina ferry and into Lopar, Paradise Beach, Fruga, Beach Mel, Kalifront, and a charge to the finish through the old city of Rab. As the horn of the ferry sounds, the racing is on, with Egger flying out the hull as if the day is a short track race rather than a 76-kilometer race across the island. Gaps open immediately, and only Buff Megamo can follow the white-hot pace set by the yellow leader jersey wearers, though their pursuit is cut short due to a flat tyre on an early climb, resulting in Orbia Liat Speed Company team alone as they continue to ratchet up the pace through the stage to eventually win.
Yeah, and after the Cape Epic, where we lost it after only one day in yellow, it's quite nice to keep it and to go into the next day with quite a good gap now, and yeah, we enjoy yellow.
Stage 2 is filled with drama in the women's race as orange leader jersey wearers Sportograph.com Bike Aid MTB puncture on the first climb, resulting in a complete wheel change at the tech zone, allowing Alessia Ney and Lisa Erberg to break away. In the closing kilometers, Ames and Janus drop a chain in a crucial moment, which ensures Ney and Erberg win their first 4Islands stage.
Because the other teams had some mechanical problems, some flats, and at the end they came from behind and they overtook us, and after that they found some mechanical problems, so we can take the win.
Though Janus and Ames don't win Stage 2, they extend their lead to 6 minutes 59 seconds over their nearest rivals, Tricelion SRT Protective Factories Tanya Prila and Greta Karasiavate. As a race within the Epic series, teams racing the 4Islands MTB Croatia are required to race in teams of 2. Team racing is an interesting and challenging format, as it requires 2 people to come together with a common goal in mind, and they need to learn from, care for, and think about each other from start to finish each day. Once the racing for the day is done, teams enjoy an afternoon in the spring sunshine in Rab's main courtyard below the old city, overlooking the boats in the harbour. Here is where racing stories were shared countless times. Local cuisine was enjoyed amongst friends, both old and new, and local beers were cheersed in celebration of the day's achievements. A perfect representation of why Rab is known as the Happy Island. With 3 days of racing and 2 islands ticked off, only 2 stages and 2 more islands remain. The morning of Stage 3 begins with another tranquil trip across the Adriatic in the direction of the island Cres, the host island of Stage 3, the Queen stage of the 2023 4Islands MTB Croatia. Mountain biking racing on the island of Cres is an exciting affair, combining stunning natural beauty with adrenaline-pumping action. The island's diverse landscapes provides an exhilarating mix of technical descents and challenging climbs, and the newly designed route for the Queen stage is set to challenge and reward in equal measure as teams race from Merag Port to the new finish in the city of Cres.
Stage 3, the Queen stage of 4Islands MTB Croatia, boasts a new route on the island of Cres, with the famous ferry start in the port of Merag. The riders battled on the island of Shepherd's Paradise with 84 kilometers and almost 2,000 meters of climbing.
As the horn of the ferry signals the start of Stage 3, the racing kicks into overdrive as the main protagonists of the 2023 4 Islands Orbia Liat Speed Company charge up the opening climb in their true-to-brand style and drive the pace with Buff Megamo and Team Bulls in tow. Eventually, the pace proves too high, leaving Egger and Baum alone for the majority of the stage once again. Egger and Baum have shown the world their racing style, which is pedal to the metal from start to finish, in Andorra and at 2 Absa Cape epics in the past 2 years. Stage 3 of the 4 Islands is another signature performance as they race to another stage win and an increased overall lead over Buff Megamo and Team Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, we did quite a fast start again today. And then, yeah, that stage was so demanding. I thought the last days were rocky or yeah, tough, but today was even tougher. So, yeah, I think it played into our cards. I mean, we had a hard day as well and had a bit of back problems and everything. But I think it's because of the terrain and because it's so hard and always rocky and bumpy. But yeah, we kept pushing and kept our speed. Yeah, I don't know how big the gap is now, but it seems to be quite big. And yeah, I think we felt good and yellow is quite safe now.
It's going to be a quick one, 40 Ks and the last fireworks to burn.
In the women's race, Bettina Jannes and Kim Ames are determined to put Stage 2's disappointment behind them and to conquer the rocks of Cres. The pair works perfectly together to establish a gap which allows them to focus on the task at hand, returning to winning ways. Their strategy works to perfection as they cross the line in Cres in first place to win the stage and further increase their lead.
We wanted to project the leader choices and, yeah, go our own pace, and yeah, we knew we are strong and
yeah, work good together and then fight for the win. I have never seen so many rocks, so the sentence "conquer the rocks" is really true. It's crazy, and single tracks are really nice, and also some villages which we passed, really nice. Like looks like a holiday.
With one stage left to race on the island of Lochin, the racing across categories is set for an exciting finale. The 4 Islands final stage takes place on the island of Lochin and takes teams on a 41-kilometer loop of the island with 950 meters of climbing. The stage ensures it's a celebration of mountain biking in Croatia, as it takes teams on another day of rock hopping, steep climbing, whirlwind descending, and breathtaking views, and an incredible finish amongst the boats that line Mali Lochin's harbour.
Dear friends, we have reached the final stage of 4 Islands Croatia on the beautiful and sunny Lošinj Island.
Over the last 5 days, you've ridden 291 kilometers with more than 6,000 vertical meters and conquered numerous rocks. You are all winners.
203 teams from more than 30 countries have met this year in Croatia.
From Guatemala and Dominican Republic to Australia.
From Norway to South Africa. It has been a pleasure to have you here, and now have fun on the last 40K of 4 Islands Mountain Bike Croatia.
Egger and Baum, Orbia Liat Speed Company, and Becking and Dragau, Buff Megamo charge out of Mali Loshin, determined to make the racing fast from the start. Buff Megamo open a gap on the yellow jersey wearers. However, the rocks on Loshin get the better of them as they succumb to a puncture that allows Egger and Baum to catch and pass them on the second climb of the day. From then on, Egger and Baum drive the pace through the remainder of the 41-kilometer route and cross the Stage 4 finish line in first place to win the stage and the overall 2023 4 Islands MTB Croatia title.
So it was a pretty fast one right from the start today. Compared to the other stages, it was quite short, but maybe therefore even faster from the start. With the tarmac section in the beginning, leading into a trail, and we wanted to keep the pace high to set the other ones under pressure. We could split from the rest of the bunch already in the first trail, so from then on it was just full gas till the finish.
Bettina Janas and Kim Ames, Sportograph.com, Bike Aid MTB, are once again the team to make the racing as they drive the pace out of Loshin and into the trails of the final island. Their plan is, much like it had been over the previous stages, to not go too deep, but to apply enough pressure to get away from the rest of the women's field so that they can enjoy the final stage to the fullest. After 5 days of racing, Janas and Ames eventually win the women's category by a convincing 21 minutes over Stage 2 winners Alessia Ney and Lisa Erberg of Velohund Velofluch. Tanja Prilla and Greta Karasiavate finished the event in third.
Today was a short and tough stage, but we took it easy because we had a gap, so we knew no risk, and then we should take the win to the finish line.
The 4 Islands is as much about racing as it is about exploring the islands with a partner, taking new trails, soaking in new scenery, and celebrating the sport of mountain biking. The amateur and age group category riders, as well as the teams racing for pure enjoyment, cross the line in Loshin to claim their finisher medals and celebrate the fact that they've conquered the rocks of Croatia. A select few riders who have completed the Absa Cape Epic and 2 Epic Series Legend races are awarded their Epic Legend medals to honor their achievements.
The mountain bike community, I think the borders are almost non-existent between the amateur riders and the professionals. After the race, we're having at the same table, the same meals as the amateurs, and we can have direct contact with each other, and to never lose like the real spirit of the cycling or of the sport we all do together. We're conquering the same routes, the same tracks, we're eating the same food, so it's a nice feeling to be together with all the participants here.
Yeah, 4 Island is quite unique. There's a big community, there's a lot of cyclists together, it's always a good atmosphere, but now we are sharing mostly the ferries together in the morning, the same travel, beers afterwards, good coffee at the start line, good atmosphere, good DJ. And the race is suffering, it's hard, but afterwards it's really enjoyable. Normally we stay in hotels, long stays, really suffering, and these stays are hard, but if you go on your own pace, it's still quite short days. And then you also have more time to enjoy the non-racing part and the country and bring your family. It's a really nice place to be.
For me, what stood out especially was the accommodation on the boat, because this year we did the whole race on a boat, and because you are racing every day on a different island in Croatia, you can live on the boat for the whole week and then start right off the boat every day. So this is very special, and we never had this in a similar race.
Racing on 4 different islands is really special, and every island is a little bit different, and I really like riding into the finish line on each stage because it looks like on a postcard.
5 days of racing done, 4 islands explored, boats and ferries ridden, and millions of rocks conquered, it's time to call the 2023 4 Islands MTB Croatia a wrap. See you in 2024.